Hello, Commons Kids! Welcome to our September 5th Commons Kids YouTube church service. My name is Larissa. I'm part of the kids and youth team here, and on behalf of that team, we are giving you a big hello and thank you so much for joining us today. We have lots of really cool things planned for you. Of course, Miss Ashley has taken some time to show you guys a really cool craft and activity to do at the end of our Bible stories. Speaking of Bible stories, we are starting 2 new series in our early years and our elementary classes. In our early years classes, we are starting a series called Beginnings, and these are a bunch of stories in the book of Genesis, the very first book in the Bible. And in these series, we are learning about how it is really important to put God first in our hearts and our minds, and how that can change the entire world around us. The Bible story that we'll be focusing on today is the creation story in Genesis 1, and it's all about how God created light and dark and rivers and mountains. All of the beauty that you see outside around you, that was God putting us first to create something beautiful around us to enjoy. And in our elementary classes, we are starting a series called Genesis Aftermath. This is also all about the book of Genesis, the very first book in the Bible. In this series, we're learning about how instead of making some of our bad choices, we can choose to follow God. And by following God, we learn more about God, about God's heart for us, and how we can be the very best version of ourselves. The Bible story that we are listening to in this class is from these 2 brothers called Cain and Abel, and how they made the mistake of not listening to God. And by not listening to God, they got into a really, really tough situation. But you will have to find out soon enough what I'm talking about in there. Now, since we are talking about the creation story in our earlier classes, I thought that we could read a little poem from the book Images of God. And this story, or this poem rather, is called God is Beauty. God is beauty. The mountain peaks and the great depths of the sea, the light of the day and the shadows of night, the marvelous birds and the fabulous fish, the multitudes of trees, of plants, and of animals. All these splendors are just a tiny reflection of the perfect beauty of God. But perhaps what reflects God's beauty the best is the expression of people who love, who hope, and who work to make life beautiful. Now, I trust that you guys are all making life beautiful, but I think you can learn a little bit more through our Bible stories and a really cool creative craft that you'll get a chance to work on in just a little bit. But until then, I will see you next Sunday. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you very soon. Bye, guys.